Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
What?
Wow, look
I don't
at
get
that.
headphones?
Nah, you don't need them.
Nah, I don't need them.
You don't need. You know why you don't need them?
Me.
So I need them because apparently I'm too loud without them, and this helps me check myself before I wreck myself.
There's a set right there.
Yeah, I don't need them.
You kind of stole his. Do you see how far away the cable is from you and how
you know
close
why I
that
don't
one
have
is?
Oh, really?
You know,
Because
I
you're
don't
a
have 'em.
thieving son of a
No,
bitch.
it's
That's why.
okay. Hey,
I apologize,
Hey,
Dakota.
guys, check
Too
it
late.
out. I'm good now.
Welcome to Fake News. Dakota's plugged into the Matrix. Gentlemen, I want to first off start by congratulating you on the success of your new show, American Party.
Thanks.
Man.
Number 43 in the world today. Congratulations, kids.
Super excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why?
Yeah, how
I
can you
am.
not be?
Why? Oh, that is your excitement right there? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Just checking. You know, you never know with Dan whether or not he's happy,
If I say
sad, or
words, then
raped.
I'm excited about it.
Okay.
If somebody says something like,
Yeah.
then
yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe I care a little bit. If I
Yeah.
just stare through you like you don't exist, then I don't care at all.
Sure. Do you mind if I just pop open the old iPhone and see
I need a
who you
translator.
guys are ahead of?
Oh yeah, go ahead and list.
let's do it.
Let's see here, because you guys are in news, which
good-
is important. Because
good
let's face it, all the news is fake today. So if you're actually going to listen to some form of news, you might as well listen to these two.
Yeah.
You might as well listen to people who give a shit.
Yeah,
Right?
who care about the country.
Yeah.
So currently you're number 46.
46.
Do you know who 47 is by any chance?
Rudy Giuliani.
It is.
Oh, Mr. Hand. You know why? Because we caught him with his hand on his pants.
Goddamn right you did.
It happens.
Laying on a bed, dude,
Laying
with a
on a
young
bed.
lady.
Yeah, yeah.
And Borat jumped into the room, and then the Morning Joe is after that. So you guys are ahead of the Morning Joe with Joe Scarborough and Mika
Mika's hot.
Brzezinski. You know, they fuck, right? Aren't they married?
they?
I think they're married.
I don't know.
I think
Joe and
it's
Mika
a-
married?
I think it's a Ross Patterson Revolution sitch where the show is named after the husband, and then she's on it. And she's hot. I get it. Like,
Is that really Joe Scarborough's wife?
No,
I think it is.
I don't think so. He was a congressman before.
not a chance.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yes.
they are. They got married in 2018.
They are?
Ah,
Oh,
nailed it,
but
dude.
That show has been on way longer than that.
Goddamn
that
right.
show's been on for years. So
Yeah.
they
They've
started.
been boning behind the scenes and probably left their significant others. Whereas I did the reverse. I started off by boning the person and then hosting a show with them.
Reverse Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I was on
show
top.
that show started in 2007, and Joe Scarborough was married to his previous wife until 2013.
There it is.
There it is.
There
There
it
it
is.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
Draw your own conclusions, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen.
And that's how it goes.
He pulled out the old pork sword and went to Tuna Town. is
You know,
what
but
he
it was
did.
only, it started though. I mean, he did it at sacrifice. I mean, this man sacrificed
Yes, he did.
his wife
Yep.
for the connection on the show. I mean, you talk about that's dedication.
It's giving is what it is. And that's
Yeah.
what we talk about all the time on Drinking Bros,
Giving.
that you have to give back. And if that means all 4 inches, you have to give all 4 inches of your penis back.
Hold on, you don't have to take it though, do you?
It depends. Depends. You can talk to Roger Ailes or Harvey Weinstein about that. Depends on what they were saying there.
There's
you know?
other shows as well that we're ahead of. Michael Savage, he's been on for a long time.
Okay.
Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, the Hodge twins, Dan Crenshaw, Trey Gowdy, Al Franken, Anderson Cooper, Chris Hayes.
Look at you bragging.
Some
Now
good.
look at us. Look at us.
Look at you
Hey,
guys.
why don't
Brian-
you watch us go?
Why don't you watch us
Hey,
go?
where are we going to be at next week? We're going to be at next week, Dan. Let's go ahead and just tell them.
Brian Williams.
Bro, Brian,
Who is,
but Brian Williams was actually on your show, right?
Yeah, he was a
Or did
spa-
he say he was on
He
your
was
show?
a door gunner on a space shuttle for a while. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about that.
Well, I mean, he basically didn't Brian Williams kill Bin Laden?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
He strangled him with his shoestring, I believe. We're also ahead of Politically Reactive, which is W. Kamau Bell, which
I hate that
the
motherfucker.
mainstream media has been trying to make a thing for the last
I
10
hate him
years. and
so much.
Every show he does gets canceled because it fucking sucks.
He sucks.
dude.
He sucks.
God
like,
damn it.
It's just
He's
a
not
severe lack
funny.
of talent. Correct. He's infamous for being championed by Chris Rock, and that's it. That's the whole shit of I can solve that riddle for you.
Well, to be
and
fair-
Chris Rock, by the way, the other one that he's the champion for was that chick from Leslie Lesdog from Saturday Night Live.
Leslie Brown?
No.
Maybe?
What's her fucking last name, Fake Dan?
You're talking about the
Leslie Nope.
Leslie Jones. There it
Jones.
is.
That's it. Yeah, she's not funny either.
Leslie Nope. Yeah, she was on Saturday Night Live, and now she hosts Supermarket Sweep, and it's frightening. She frightens me. Not funny at all. But Chris Rock, I don't know. He loves those two guys.
The one or two or however many, if she stays in her lane on sketches, she can be funny. Like that character is funny, but it's not funny anywhere but there. You know what I mean?
Reading off of cue cards is tough, and I don't think people understand it. Like, there's a certain skill to it, and she doesn't have it.
Like, you have to read.
Pete Davidson doesn't have it either on the show.
You have to read. It's a problem that Fallon had as well, because you have to read about 15 seconds in advance.
Yes.
And then break eye contact with the card and go back into the
Correct.
scene.
Yeah.
And he's so, I mean, I like Jimmy Fallon. He was so tickled by the joke.
Yeah.
That he couldn't keep a fucking straight face as he did because he knew the line in advance. I feel like if he was just ad-libbing, he would be way better, but he can't. He can't read the joke and then do it.
He always got away with it though because he was Jimmy Fallon.
He's a good guy.
That's funny.
That buddy cop movie he shot was it with like Queen Latifah or some shit.
Yeah, Taxi.
How long do you think it took them to record that shit with him saying funny shit? Because he obviously has demonstrated for fucking 20 years now that he can't do it without laughing.
Yeah.
And it's the first couple of times on set, it's pretty funny. And then 2 hours into shooting the same scene, you're like, all right, brother, we got to fucking...
Can we go?
My kids just graduated high school, so I got to fucking get out of here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be good reading off cue cards either, right? Like, there's one of us, like, y'all bring laptops. I'm over here on the YouTube.
Yeah, but you're
machine.
on Grindr.
Yeah, you're on Grindr. That doesn't matter. You're trying to find a date.
Okay. You got me.
Before we get into the fake news today, I posted your show on Drinkin Bros Instagram yesterday.
Yeah.
And they said somebody wrote congratulations to the puzzler.
Yeah, that's me.
Are you still? People want to know. Are you still dating the puzzle girl?
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Okay. All right. That didn't sound real confident.
You know, we're working through things. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
Life is a puzzle.
You know, life is a puzzle. And you know, like, listen, you know,
there's nothing we like better than putting you on the spot and making you uncomfortable. You know, like having Jack Mandeville write big comes on his stomach.
Yep.
Well, you know, I feel like after I keep coming on this show a few more times, and after COVID's done, and my sponsors see some of this shit,
right.
I'll have to go all in on the American Party podcast because I won't have anything else. So, you know, but so life is like a big puzzle. You know, you start with the corners, you get the outside edges, and then, you know, you hit those blocks of where you're trying to figure out the hard pieces.
You got to fill in the middle. You got to fill in the middle of life. I understand it.
You know,
I understand it.
You know,
download the American Party podcast everywhere that's podcasts are available. It's also on Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube, the video show. And you guys are on Spotify, iTunes. Write a review and leave a quick 5-star. Do the same for Drinkin Bros as well. We've cracked the code on iTunes to get on the charts. It is not your millions and millions of viewers. It is actually based on reviews and subscribers. So just review the show, and then we'll jam up there. I think we're like Drinkin Bros is like number 60 in the world.
60, 61.
We can actually, with as many listeners as we have, we can actually get to number 1 once Rogan leaves on the 1st, because he'll be gone at that point.
Is he at the 1st of what?
January.
Oh, you mean when he pulls off of iTunes?
Correct.
Yeah.
So just keep leaving reviews and 5-star ratings for Drinkin Bros podcast. And we'll be number 1 by the time he leaves, because let's face it, we can't beat him now.
No.
Not at all. Speaking of beating things now, people are trying to beat each other in a presidential election that is coming up in about 12 days here. The FBI says Iran and Russia have attempted to interfere in the 2020 presidential election. The director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, said Wednesday both Iran and Russia have obtained U.S. voter registration information in an effort to interfere in the election, including Iran posing as the far-right group, the Proud Boys, imitating emails to voters and blah, 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 blah. So everybody got this wrong. I touched on this a tad bit earlier, and I want to get your opinion on it. Me personally, for the last 70 years, even though I'm a spry young man of 32 years old, I just assume that
There's
every
no way you're
country,
32
years old, I just had my 32nd birthday. Yep, next year I'll be 33.
Not a chance.
Same age as
Anyways,
Jesus.
keep going.
I just assumed that every country is trying to interfere with our election for the last 70 years and vice versa. I feel like the U.S. is trying to, probably does it in Russia and everywhere else.
Well,
right?
we haven't tried. We've been very successful at it, actually.
We have.
We installed.
Great. This is what I wanted to ask about.
We installed General Trejo in Panama, then basically murdered him and put Noriega in charge and let him run cocaine. So we used the money to buy guns and send them to Iran and various other places. And then we arrested him and put him in federal prison.
What country was that?
Panama, yeah.
Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that in there one more time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look,
we did it to
Iraq. Iraq. I mean, we went into Iraq and killed their leader.
Well, even
right?
I mean, this has been going on for
go,
years.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, this
like
is what
in
we do.
Iran, we helped overthrow a democratically elected government and installed the Shah of Iran.
Yep.
So good job,
Great.
America. Hell yeah, brother.
America, yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
So with these stories, when you guys, because you guys know so much more about this than I do, obviously, when you hear these, are you shocked at the shock of like people and like media pundits where they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening? Or are you shocked at all that people just don't know that this is going on?
I'm more shocked that people I just question the people who don't know this, right? It's like
Same,
It's
yeah.
like it's kind of like the people who buy sales on e-commerce and they're thinking, well, it's 30% off. Like you think that people haven't already figured out and just marked their shit up like that? No, it's not, perception's more reality to people than reality's reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're surprised. Hold on, you're surprised that our enemies are trying to mess with our election?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I mean,
This is news. This is mind blowing. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not surprised by any of it, and I'm personally not surprised that they're targeting Trump more so than Biden with all this stuff. Like this Proud Boys email that came out it was supposed to be like a black flag operation where it made it look like Trump was using the Proud Boys somehow to intimidate voters, to make him look bad, right? I'm not surprised by that. The left seems to be.
Hey, you quote me today. The only people who don't want Donald Trump to be the president of the United States more than the Democrats are our enemies.
I agree. Why Russia then? Why does Russia seem so keen on Trump?
I don't think that's true.
I don't
think Russia. I think Russia wants chaos and instability. This is what I said when this whole thing with Trump first started. It's not about necessarily damaging Trump or getting Biden into office. Although I do think Russia and Iran would certainly benefit more if somebody like Biden was in office.
For sure.
I mean, you could look at the Iran deal they made. You could look at the weak trade deal or the trade negotiations and all this other stuff and just that we had with Russia during the Obama administration. Clearly, it's better now than it was then. However, I think Russia benefits more from political instability and chaos in America and divisiveness than they do anybody being president or not being president. That's what I think.
But I go back to this. I don't know that anybody has made I don't know that anybody has proven that Russia wants Trump to be president, right? Like why? Like if I'm Russia and I come out and I'm causing a lot of this misinformation, well, why would I not against Donald Trump? Why would I not say I was supporting him because it makes him look worse and ties him up? That's my propaganda, right? Like,
well, here I was thinking about
it's
that.
It's like the Trojan horse.
Yeah, but I think what they're
that's a little on the nose.
Yeah, I think what the narrative is this: that Trump is dopey, and that Putin can control Trump, and that he's his puppet, and blah blah blah. Right?
There's already useful aphorisms for that, like the useful idiot, for example.
But I honestly don't think that Russia controls Trump, right? Like I don't either. So I don't like. So that's what I'm saying is I think like this narrative that's been built was built by Russia. So like I don't know. Like I'm telling you, I still will stand by all of our enemies. Like you said, Russia would benefit from a Democrat being in there over Trump.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no question. And Iran as well. Don't forget that we clipped Soleimani.
Yeah,
that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, I mean,
we did that. That's like he is the most important military leader, or was the most important military in all of Iran.
Yes,
and for a long ass time, people think he just burst onto the scene and he was some target that Trump flippantly took out as some kind of grudge match thing. No, he's the one that orchestrated the 1983 Beirut bombings in the Marine Corps base, right? The first terrorism bombing situation that happened between the U.S. Army or U.S. military and Muslim extremists. Way the fuck back in the day. 37 years ago.
I'd be willing to say that he was more effective at killing Americans directly or because of it than Osama bin Laden, just not more iconic.
Yeah. Over time, there's no
Over
question
time,
about it,
for
because
sure.
he's the guy that negotiated all those, if you want to call them treaties, between Sunni and Shia extremist groups that were fighting against us. All that stuff. He was also one of the architects of, after Iran lost the ability to pass money through Hezbollah the way they used to, right? He was the one that set up the whole situation where they were able to funnel money through the Colombian narco-terrorist groups like FARC, right? Then FARC obviously signed a deal with the Colombian government to disarm and all this other stuff. Who knows where that really went, but then they had to find a new way, and his new way was to funnel more money through these, other Arab states. Now he's gone, and they have to start all over again.
And the other thing is...
Because we clipped his number 2 as well.
Right.
In the same bombing.
I think if you think the first 4 years Donald Trump was hard on our enemies, like the next 4 years, and he doesn't have to worry about getting reelected.
Yeah, I know. Imagine.
You imagine being the enemy, knowing that this man, if he gets reelected, he never has to run again.
No.
And you think like the first 4 years was nothing but like a warning shot.
Right.
So why would he give a shit the next 4 years?
I agree, and that's part of the reason I voted for him. And I've already voted, by the way. I went to early voting. I don't know if you did.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. But that's part of the reason too, where it's like, dude, I want somebody in there.
I mean, all I can say is
who does not give a fuck.
There
and
is
that's
no
it.
snowball chance in hell that I would vote for Joe Biden.
No.
I promise I would go down there. I would write Kanye in before I would vote for Joe Biden.
Kanye's on the ballot. He's on the ballot as a VP in some states, so you might have your shots
As who's
when
VP?
you go in there.
As who's VP?
As a VP. And so on California's ballot, they've got him down as a vice presidential candidate. I look.
So weird.
California, man, is its own country. It's not part of this one anymore. But I enjoyed Ratcliffe's comments coming out. So at least there is some clarity of where the shit was coming from, right? Because a lot of people did believe that the Proud Boys are the fucking enemies of the world. And it's like, dude, there's only, again, we had with the head of it on our show like a year and a half ago, whatever it was. And I was like, dude, there's only like 2,000 of them. They're all trolls. It's not a real thing. It's not a.
I think all we need, man, is we just need people to tell us, hey, this is misinformation from our enemies.
Yeah.
Or hey, this is legit. That's all we need.
And that's we'll get to another story about that here in a bit, about how the New York Post thing and Adam Schiff's comments and all that stuff. But let's move on to this Galen Maxwell deposition.
Yeah, because this is breaking news. No, so
it just came out at 9 a.m.
earlier. Yeah, on RPR, we were on air, and I saw it pop up, and I go, man, this is going to be fun for fake news, because what happens in these depositions is when they get released. This one was 400 pages. It still takes people a while to leaf through 400 pages. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, I'll have those notes in an hour, sir. Like, that's an all-day thing.
No, they're just searching keywords and paying interns to read the doc right now.
Correct.
Well, not paying interns.
So here's what we've learned so far. A lot of the deposition of Epstein, the case itself is a lot of things you'd obviously expect. There's a ton of denials, victim blaming for her, lashing out, some half-truths. Maxwell denies any non-consensual or underage sex ever happened, but her attorney instructed her not to speak regarding any consensual activities. Yet, in at least one specific example, attorneys were able to prove that Maxwell was lying in her responses during the deposition. It says, according to flight logs, defendant was on Epstein's planes over 200 times. Including 23 times with Miss McGreefy? Is it McGreefy? How do you pronounce that
I have
name?
no idea how to say that. By the way, this deposition is from, it's probably Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, if I had to guess. But if
Giuffre.
This deposition is from a civil complaint that
in 2016.
Yeah, that Jeffrey made against Epstein, basically, and this is the deposition from it. It wasn't a criminal trial, is what I'm saying. So while she is under oath, the person questioning her usually is the other person's attorney, not necessarily a prosecutor. And that'll become important here in a few minutes when we explain more of this.
Okay. 200 times on a plane. I'm trying to think if I've even flown 200 times in my entire life, let alone like been on a pedophile's plane for 200 times.
Probably like on a normal year, we probably fly, 40, 50 times, something like that.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, 4 years we got it locked up. But these guys, man, when you're fucking like this, you're just flying. You're just flying to fuck at that point. I guess if you got it, you got it. You just can't do it with underage people.
She denied he ever went to the island, by the way. That what's his name? Bill Clinton? I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Bill Clinton.
She denied he ever went to the island, which is obviously not true because there have been eyewitnesses that placed him there a number of times. Not just the victims, but also the groundskeeper put him there and all this other stuff.
I think like once you get to that level though, like you feel like you're untouchable.
Yes. And especially the clientele that was on board, because some of those redactions in this report, Dan, one was Bill Clinton, one was Prince Andrew. So they were definitely there. Yeah. And all of that shit was in this actual deposition. But their names were lightly redacted. Man, when you are on that level, because I remember seeing some footage from inside the plane. And
it wasn't that nice.
No, I mean, it's your generic, private jet and all that shit. But man, there was one video with Chris Tucker, Kevin Spacey, Bill Clinton, and some other people. Now, look, I'm not saying Chris Tucker and them knew what was going on. They were going to Africa for some peace mission thing for the Clinton Foundation. I'm not saying he knew. And look, Kevin Spacey's gay, so that wasn't really their jam anyways. But
yeah, but I mean, like, look, here's
when you're hanging out with that crowd, you do feel untouchable, I'm sure.
Here's my problem with all of it, though, is I can't think that if you're on that plane more than 10, 15 times, like you didn't know something was going on.
Right.
Like I mean, especially if you were on the plane. Like, could you imagine? Let's say we get on we're getting on a private jet. Somebody asked us, they're going to fly us somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And we get on, and there's all of us grown men, and there's like a girl who even looks like she's 18, 17, 16, 15.
Yeah.
I mean, would you not think something's up?
Not only would I think something is up, man, but I would feel so uncomfortable that it'd be like, first of all, whose daughter is this? And if it's not somebody's fucking daughter, what the fuck she do on the plane?
I mean, right? Like, who? And how would you not say something, right? Like, if they didn't introduce as, oh, this is my daughter, or hey, she's just gonna join along, and it's a day trip, you're coming back. But like, if you're going to an island with anybody even at 18 and below. Like, first off, if we're going to be drinking alcohol, why are you with somebody under the age of 21?
Right.
Right? Like, there's just so many things that damn well in any of these situations, you're like, that's not right. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, and all that is, I mean, we've had these discussions already. The thing in this whole situation, this deposition that is weird, particularly weird to me, is all the questions that Galen Maxwell got asked about Jeffrey Epstein's ties to the FBI and the CIA and the Israeli government. Where'd that come from? Now, I know that he's been going around or had been going around telling everybody that he worked for the government in some kind of capacity in regards to getting some money back from someone or some shit like that. I don't know exactly what it was, but it's common for weirdos and rich people and people in general just to lie about things, right?
Yeah.
But somebody in his position with the access that he had, when they say something like that, I'm going to believe it probably,
right?
To be honest, because why would he lie? Why would he need to make that up? He's already rich. He has Bill Clinton's phone number on his phone. Why would he need to lie about anything else?
Yeah.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Clearly, he got away with this shit for decades. So that one is weird to me, and I want to know exactly what he was doing for the government. I think they owe us answers on that. This guy was raping children for years, and if they were facilitating that or turning a blind eye just because he was providing, I don't care about anything else. Mm-hmm. If what he did saved 10,000 American lives, it's not worth one child getting raped.
Right.
So I want to know exactly what the fuck happened.
So do I, but the unfortunate thing is I don't know how we get these answers. I know they exist somewhere because, look, Epstein was in jail for it. So they have records, they have statements. They are somewhere in New York, in the actual state of New York, where these charges were filed.
Right.
They exist in a room somewhere with all the bullshit that gets leaked day after day, from Snowden to everyone else, all these other assholes, WikiLeaks, everything else. How do you not have this one? This one's the golden fucking ticket to me.
Yeah, I mean, but here's my thought on it is right. How do you get a guy who knows he's either when he went to jail he believed he was going to get out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or B, how do you get a guy who's willing
did.
to kill himself to not give up any of your all's names? The people who's involved's names, right? Like, how do you get that loyalty? I don't think she's going to be that loyal. I think you're going to break her and she's going to sing like a songbird,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
like, I think you're about to whittle her down and,
Mm-hmm.
and once there's nothing else that she can protect, I think like she's going to sing like a songbird to try to get a deal or something.
I do too. I just want her to stay alive long enough to get it all on tape and then get it out into the world.
I think she already is cooperating.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
I do, because over the last 4 or 5 months, we've seen international sex trafficking rings going down all over the place.
And do you think? Yeah. Do you think that's her?
I do. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there's no other real explanation. Look, maybe it's just because that's now newsworthy, more so than before.
It's been newsworthy. I'm telling you right now, she's
know.
giving some information to hit them.
I
think she
agree.
knows.
I do find it odd that all these weird human trafficking rings have been broken up around, especially the United States. There was one in Georgia.
3 in the United States. There was one in Scotland, one in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the world, random places around the world. Right? It wasn't like they were all centrally located or anything like that. It was all over the place. And what are the chances that
Right.
they're all going down all at the same time? We know the operations like OAR and Sawman and a couple other groups that do this stuff internationally that are actually helping the governments do this stuff, but they can't cover that much ground. There's no way. Not in that quick of succession.
Not without legit intel.
Yeah.
Right? Like not without legit intel. Yeah, I mean I totally agree. And I think so let me ask you this. If she shuts down, like gives up this information, tons of rings, I mean, I think at some point they're going to turn her. So I think that's why they're already starting the narrative. You ready for this?
Yeah.
She's the victim too. I think that's you know what I mean. Like because she's starting to. I think she's starting to already like give up information. She's gonna throw some people under the bus, and I think they're gonna the way to help get this thing to go away is they're going to portray her as a victim to Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein's dead. And you're gonna see that in the next few years.
That's absolutely fine if they do that. I've already made my wishes clear on this. I think they should make whatever deal they need with her to get whatever information she has.
To get as many of these things out, get as many people out.
And as soon as they have all the information, they should walk in there, burn the deal right in front of her, and shoot her in her fucking head on live television.
Totally
Fuck
agree.
her. I hope she
Fuck her.
dies.
I agree.
In the most painful way possible. I don't give a shit about that, but yeah, definitely squeeze her. There's got to be some kind of like, how bad does a person have to be where I can put them on a rack and peel their fucking skin off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that I want to do it, but we need to know who these fucking people are amongst us and kill them too.
But
all
I mean,
these people have to fucking die.
And I think if she gives all of them up, they will let her go.
They probably will, and somebody will fucking. There's
Kill
no
her.
way she makes it out of this country alive.
Not
Not one chance.
I think I mean you know in the United States of America, 1 million girls are taken into sex trafficking a year.
No, really? I didn't know
Just
that.
in the United States of America. Just in the United States of America.
That's crazy.
Right now, there's like something like 23 million sexual slaves worldwide. I think
Yeah.
something like that.
Jesus Christ. It's a lot of orphanages and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Houston's one of the
Yeah.
largest hubs,
Yeah.
right? Houston's one of the largest hubs. I mean, but my thing is like we see all these rings getting busted outside the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why aren't we getting them busted here?
Yeah, it's strange, right?
Like she needs to tell who in our government, where's the cancers at? Like she needs to diagnose the cancers that were involved in that had any power. If you're going to put a guy like Harvey Weinstein for the rest of his life in jail, if you're going to put a guy like, which I 100% think he deserves it, right? Bill Cosby, good on him for where he's at, right?
He's probably gonna get out next year.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get them for that, these politicians who had power, 100%.
Oh, I agree, and I think the scary part about it is that it's probably such a high number of both Republicans and Democrats, by the way, who are involved in this shit that it would alter your mind if she came out and said,
Do you remember that?
You know what? Here's all the people.
Do you remember that scene from the last Christian Bale Batman movie where Cillian Murphy's sitting up on the big judge thing and all the leaders from the city are being walked through and sentenced either to death or banishment.
Yeah.
And obviously banishment is death.
Right,
as
right.
well.
Same thing.
Probably the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to go to the National Mall, just right there in the water in front of the Washington Monument, and just drag all these people out, make it look like Forrest Gump again, right?
Yeah.
Giving a speech, you just read off all their crimes, and you fucking march them down and pop them right in the back of the head.
I bet you.
Or drown them right in the...
Yeah. Drowning would be fun, actually, yeah.
Hey, what do you think about this?
So you could see the struggle.
Exactly.
Because you deserve every bit of fear and pain that you've caused all
for
these
sure.
young
I feel like a
people.
gunshot is too quick.
Maybe,
Yeah.
We
I
could
bet you
we could chainsaw them in
Feed them to
half.
alligators.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Put alligators in the mall.
Yeah.
Right in that pond right out front of the mall.
Or we could take them to a coliseum somewhere. Take them to our old RFK. Is it still? Did they tear it down or what's
No, I don't think that. I think they've blown that up already.
Oh,
It's
well,
gone, yeah.
we'll go somewhere else. Find a stadium or an arena somewhere, and just every American gets a free. All you have to do is schedule it. It's going to be going on for 200 days next year. We're
Yeah.
going to kill somebody every single day. You just have to schedule. Every American gets one opportunity to come see somebody die.
I bet you. What you're a betting man.
Yeah.
What do you think the odds are that Giselle or whatever her name is?
Ghislaine. Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the odds are that she could drain the swamp?
Oh boy.
Huh? What do you think?
Well,
what do you think? What do you think?
Here's if you're looking at it as an actual swamp, right? I think, let's see, how many people are in Congress and House, Senate, and all that shit? I would probably put it at. I'm going to go a high number on that and say probably at least 40% of those motherfuckers in Washington, combined, Democrats and Republicans, had some involvement in some type of.
At least knew.
Yes.
And like I think you are guilty not only if you participated, but if you even had an idea and turned a blind eye.
Right.
Like
right.
I think if you even thought it,
Yeah.
and you had a position of power that you could do something, if you even had anything to back it up, and you didn't do something about it, you are on that fucking list that Dan's talking about,
yeah.
and you should be served the exact same thing
Yeah.
that everyone else did.
There's only one thing in life that is completely intolerable,
And
it's
is-
victimizing children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a terrorist is a terrorist, man. They have a political ideology, and
Yep.
while I don't agree with their methods, it's nothing that the United States hasn't done before. We've done fucking kinetic operations just like that. We weren't suicide bombers, but we fucking did fucked up shit just like everybody else. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that is a position you can take. And that is a position that is incongruous, obviously, with modern life. So we have to kill these people. It is what it is. But fucking with kids is timeless. You come near kids, you die, period. There's no fucking leniency allowed for that.
Yeah.
Ever. And it's I don't think that we can fuck around with this stuff anymore. We can't allow it has to be the penalty for that has to be so egregious that no one would do it, or if they are doing it, they're doing their best to not let anybody else ever find. There's not these big cabals of rich, powerful assholes systematically stealing and raping children.
Yeah, I mean, because
for
the
years.
only thing worse than I mean, and I could not imagine this. So like, I'm trying to empathize with something I could never imagine, right? But the only thing that is worse for someone who has had been sexually assaulted or something like that is to see that nothing can be done, or the person that did this couldn't be touched. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a story about this. Somebody wrote it. It's called A Time to Kill.
Yeah.
And it's a great fucking book, and it was a great goddamn movie too.
John Grisham.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely in favor of everything that happened there. And except for the one prison or the one sheriff, the guard getting shot. I mean, that was unfortunate, but even he at the end, obviously it was written that way, so it's not like it really happened. But yeah, there is a time to kill.
Yeah.
And the time is now. I'm not saying to go out into the streets and start fucking murdering people, obviously. I hope you're smart enough to know that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we as a government have to decide. We decided a long time ago that certain types of murder get the death penalty. Certain types of treason get the death penalty.
Yeah.
We need to start amping up this fucking child protection stuff. Like, you fuck with a kid once, you're fucking dead, period. You
child
fucking
pornography.
touch-
Pornography.
You touch a child, you die.
Yeah.
The end.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, child pornography is you see this going on, you know what's going on, you're right there, you're dead too, right? Like,
I agree.
How do we not? How is this? This is why I think America is so far off, and it's the epitome of how our moral compass is so far disconnected. Is how is that? How do you not get the death penalty for that? How does someone go to jail more than once?
We had to come up with special laws for it. I mean,
Yeah.
the average sentence back in the day for these assholes was something like 18 months, right? You get 18 months. That was your sentence, not the time you served. That was your sentence, which means you served somewhere between fucking 6 and 9 months, probably, right? And Megan's Law, a couple other ones came out from Florida that it was after that dude crossed the border with the kid and buried the kid in his mom's yard or some shit like
Right.
that. Some laws started to change then, but the penalties are still not very harsh.
No, not at all.
They're not very harsh by conventional
And they
means.
never get the death penalty.
No,
Never. Like,
that's
how
not
do you-
even
how do you-
that's not even an option.
And like, I don't understand. Like, oh, well, they're mentally ill. No.
No.
Well, I
they're
don't.
evil.
That's fine. I don't care if they're
I don't
mentally
care.
ill.
They're fucking
If you
evil.
have a mental illness that's causing you to rape children, then you have to die. And I'm sorry. Maybe that's coarse.
No,
maybe
I'm
that's.
100% I'm in.
I
It's
don't
not.
care. I don't care
Me
how
neither.
fucking you fucking goddamn cowards out there. That's the hill you want to fucking die on. I'm so ethical. We don't want to. That's just. We don't want to do that. That's kind
They're
of harsh.
mentally ill.
There's nothing more harsh than robbing opportunity away from a child.
Because it ruins the rest of your life.
It fucks up
Oh.
your entire life. It affects everything that ever happens to you for the rest of your fucking life.
Rest of your life.
All
Yeah.
and it's one simple act as a child ruins your whole life. I feel like there's no amount of counseling that'll change it, and even if there was, I wouldn't care.
I don't think you
If
get
there-
the opportunity for counseling.
No, if there was a pill you could take that would immediately stop that behavior for the rest of your life,
I don't think
I would still kill you.
Yeah. Same.
Fuck you. You don't deserve to be on this
Because what
planet.
happens if they didn't take that pill that one day? You know what I'm saying?
I don't
Like,
even care.
fuck
No,
them.
I'm just saying one pill and it's over forever. Just one pill.
Oh, okay,
And I
gotcha.
would still murder
No.
you right there.
You
in
know
the
what I would do?
fucking-
I'd set the pill in front of you. I'd smash it up and then fucking kill you.
Yeah. Fuck these people.
Yeah.
And there's no better segue than killing pedophiles and leading into ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Dakota Meyer is the hero that he is on and off the streets. He's got to go back on these mean streets. Got to fight fires, kids. Dakota, thanks for stopping by, buddy. We love you. Good luck today. But ghostbed.com is giving away 30% off to anybody who's a first responder like Dakota Meyer. My God, man. Firefighter, father, hero, 30% off anybody who's a military, first responder. Does that mean Dakota gets 60 because he's both? That sounds about right to me. Dan's got the Ghost Bed shirt on today. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. 30% off of mattresses. If you're a regular civilian like myself, they've got the October surprise, which is 30% off of all bundle packages. So you can bundle your adjustable base, your pillows, your mattresses, your sheets together, all of it. And then you can use the 36-month pay-as-you-go program with it and knock all this shit down to like $38 a month. One of the finest deals one could possibly have in this life. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Next up, Russian officers are charged with cyber crimes. 6 Russian military officers have been charged in what the Justice Department says was a huge hacking scheme to attack several major foreign powers, former Soviet republics, and subvert investigations into nefarious activities by the Kremlin. The alleged cyber attackers hacked into software using destructive malware to black out thousands of computers, causing nearly $1 billion in damages that were intended to support Russian government efforts to undermine, retaliate against, and or otherwise destabilize worldwide computer networks, the Justice Department said. Prosecutors said they attacked Ukraine, which is obviously the country of Georgia and Hunter Biden.
They attacked Ukraine and Georgia.
And Georgia.
They attacked France. They attacked.
They attacked Hunter Biden, dude.
And definitely,
They attacked Hunter Biden.
We've already seen from the previous story that they were involved in doing shit here in America as well. Actually, one of the things we didn't mention from that first story is that let's see.
Is Hunter Biden?
No, so
Can we just talk about Hunter Biden? All
it
night?
wasn't just the data that Iran compromised for the voting registry stuff. It wasn't publicly available.
Right.
That means they either got it from someone or from a compromised security system or a compromised secure system somewhere. So they were able to get into our voter rolls. You see why that's a problem?
Yes. By the way, Trump was hacked hours ago on Twitter, by the way.
That's not surprising. His password is probably like an upside down smiley face or something, or like
Probably Trump.
it's probably like an 8 and a bunch of equal signs and a capital D, like a dick.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if he had like an all lowercase one-word password. Honestly, to be real.
Again, is any of this surprising to you with the Russia and hacking and all that other shits? Like,
No, of course
I just assume there's rooms of it. I guess that's something I never asked you. Is there rooms here of just people kind of like? I went to one of those video game testing sites one time where I was just like, "What's it really like?" A friend of mine from high school worked there,
Right.
And it was like 100 kids sitting in this fucking huge room, windows all blacked out, and they were just playing video games all day long, looking for bugs, and
Yeah, they're beta testers.
yeah. It looked it looked miserable. It did not, it's not as fun as it sounds here. Is there a room somewhere in the Pentagon where it's just a bunch of hackers, like our best of the best, doing this shit to other countries?
I mean, certainly wouldn't be at the Pentagon.
Where would it be? Where would that be at, you think?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say. But
Do you know?
No, but I'm not gonna speculate because it's not that's important. But yeah, we're absolutely doing the exact same thing that everybody else is. There's no question about that. Come on. Anytime I see like an intelligence official belly aching in public about something that some other country's doing, I'm like, come on, man.
That's what I think.
You're doing the exact same goddamn
When I
thing.
see this, and I'm like, look, these guys just happen to get caught, but I think every country's doing it, right? And I think you're probably a fucking idiot if you're not, right?
Yeah, you got to do something. I mean, there's micro-aggressive ways to do things. The way that Russia and China are doing it, in my opinion, they care a lot about the political stuff, but they care more about, at least in China, they care way more about compromising the intellectual property of private companies here. They do that all the time. As much as the government systems get hacked by China, we're talking about thousands of times per day. The private business with proprietary information on how to make computer chips or quantum technology or vehicles or anything that might make them money somehow that they could reproduce illegally, they're going to fucking steal. So I think they use the political stuff as a little bit of magician's patter to take the eyes off of what they're actually doing, which is mostly stealing from private business. Now, Russia, I feel like Russia is that friend of yours who is a total shitbag, or that person that's a total shitbag, but they hang out around. They try to drag everybody down all the time because they know they're a shitbag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when people start to do well around them, they kind of alienate them and then try to like get them back involved in old shit. Everybody knows this kind of person. I think that's what Russia is. They know that they're fucked, and this is how they lost during the Cold War. The citizens finally got tired of it, and they finally ran out of money to keep them under control. So they fucking collapsed, right? That's how it happened. So they're on the way again. Their economy sucks, and their citizens are starting to get pissed off. So this is it. This is the last gasp of a dying fucking country.
I agree. I wonder how long Putin stays in power.
Well, he is the only reason that they still exist. That one man, for sure. Say what you want to about him being like 5'3" tall or whatever the fuck he is.
But he's got to stay there, right? Or else that whole thing comes crumbling down.
Yeah, they will not last if he's not there. No way.
In a country like that, now let's say he died, right? Let's say he got poisoned or one of these weird fucking Russian things happens, because that shit happens all the time there, it seems like, right? Would they be able to operate under a democracy at all? Or would that be just so completely foreign that it would take years and years and years? Because I look at some of these countries like Egypt, right? When they overthrew the Egyptian government and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, we want democracy, and the people want a democracy, and it's like, man, it's been years and they still don't really have a democracy. Is Russia more advanced than like in Egypt or something like that they would be able to install a democracy if something happened to Putin?
They are technically, they have votes and things now in some kind of ways.
They do, but it's weird. Yeah.
I think it would be difficult to get people to, like, that was a problem in Iraq. People didn't understand what a real democracy was, so they didn't understand what they were doing when they voted. They didn't understand that they had individual power. They just voted for whomever the local tribal leader told them to vote for.
Okay.
And they weren't doing that because they were under their control or anything. They just didn't know. They didn't understand the concept. So I don't know how it works in Russia. They're a lot more sophisticated, obviously, than people in rural Iraq are. They've been part of the West, if you want to call Russia the West, for a long time now. I mean, they're kind of a hybrid, but yeah, there's I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know how they would handle it.
I don't either. And I look at it like part of me kind of looks at it like the Saddam Hussein thing, right? Where
it's the power vacuum.
Yeah, dude. You always look back and you're like, shit, should you just left him in there? As fucked up as it is, like because of everything else that's going on now. And I look at Putin the same way. It's like, do you just leave that guy in there and deal with his bullshit? Because who the fuck knows what happens to that country once he dies? Like,
well, what we know here's what we know happens, because we've seen it before in the early 90s. What happens is everything fractures, and anybody in that country that has the ability to steal is going to do that. That's how the oligarchs became the oligarchs there in Russia. There's 7 or 8 men/families that own all of the wealth. Like it's like 8. It's not like the top 1% here that controls 50% of the wealth. It's like 7 or 8 dudes over there that control 90% of the wealth.
And when we say 8, by the way, that's 8 people, not 8%.
No, 8 human beings.
Yeah.
And it would be it would be really interesting to see what happened. So last time what happened was they consolidated money and power, right? But they lost those, ancillary states, on Ukraine, Georgia, all that stuff. And they also lost a shitload of nuclear weapons, of which they continue to produce and have now, and a lot of AKs. That's why Africa is littered with AK-47s now, is because, I mean, you've all seen Lord of War. I know it's based on a true story, but that is really what happened. All those stockpiles in the old Soviet countries just got raided and sold by private gun dealers, basically, to Africa and South America.
Great Nicolas Cage movie, by the way. We're big fans of Cage around
every
here.
Nicolas Cage movie is a great movie.
Goddamn right it is.
He's a national treasure. Anyways,
literally.
Yeah, that's what will happen again. International arms trafficking will fucking go on the rise. You'll see a bunch more micro wars in Africa. Like, it's toned down now compared to how it was in the early 2000s. But you still have people like Al-Shabaab out there, which is the Somali version of Al-Qaeda. You've got the groups in Egypt that are still ISIS in northeast Egypt up there that are trying to help, as they call it, Palestine, because there's a blockade there. There's all kinds of shit that's going on right now. And it's only you would see over the next 5 to 10 years after a Russian state fell that there would be global chaos because of all those weapons just going everywhere.
Yeah.
Unless somebody did something to stop it, and I don't know who would, to be honest.
Nicolas Cage is the only one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
By the way, Fake Dan and I were having a conversation about Nicolas Cage before going on air today. He was going to do Rescue 16, but, he was going to play Gene Vandenham's father.
Yeah.
And that's real. That'll lead us into our next ad here. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, hammer the like button. It'll help get us top of the fucking algorithm, whatever they do there. Maybe we can hire somebody from Russia to figure it out.
Yep.
Manscaped.com is up next. They got the Weed Whacker. Big fan of the Weed Whacker. That's for the nostrils. So they got the Lawnmower 3.0 for the pubes, and they got the Weed Whacker for the nostrils. Go to manscaped.com today. If you get a subscription, they'll send you like blades every 3 months, and you get a nice kit. It's a nice leather bag of kits. It's one of those, I keep telling everybody this, and nobody believes me. Once you get it, it's so nice that you can just leave it up on your countertop, and everybody's like, oh, shit, that's polite.
Yeah.
That's a nice fucking gift.
Yeah, and it's also good for the ears.
Yes, it lasts forever.
The
it's
older,
great.
good for the ears, not good for you. It is good for ears.
Good for ears
yes.
too, yeah.
But it's
maybe I should use it for the ears.
Yeah, for some reason, my ear hair is getting weird now.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just growing more and more. I don't know what it is.
It does, dude. For dudes, I don't have a lot of hair on my body, so therefore I don't have to worry about that right now. But everybody else does, dude. Nose hair, ear hair, all that shit, eyebrows.
Just
I get thick eyebrows, I guess. But it's good for eyebrows as well, man. Go to manscaped.com.
Yeah.
Promo code Drinkin Bros, 20% off and free shipping there at manscaped.com. Those products, by the way, are fucking awesome. I know their logos all over the UFC and everything else. Once you get it, you'll understand. Like, they're fucking great. And we'll be doing a live UFC show tomorrow here on YouTube. It'll be our bonus Friday show. The entire hour will be dedicated to Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. And I believe Rocco is going to be our special guest on that show. He is out in Los Angeles filming the Mayans. They're back and filming. think fuck.
Yeah.
And love that show. And I heard Rocco, I heard a rumor that he's got a big role this year.
Yeah, it did expand.
That's what I heard. We'll find out.
Also, tomorrow we're going to put out 3 more episodes of American Party Podcast.
Oh, fantastic.
So three audio episodes will drop at the normal time at 8 Eastern, and then on starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to drop one after another, episodes 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. Fantastic,
so,
dude. Looking forward to it. Again, subscribe to that.
On YouTube, I mean.
On YouTube, yeah. It'll be on the Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube. Next up, Don Lemon. Questioned Kamala Harris about the court packing, and it did not go as planned. This is going to be, so we're also doing a live debate show tonight. We will be the watch along. This will be the last presidential debate. I have a feeling, Dan, that this question is going to be the big one for Biden tonight. It has to be. If she does not ask this fucking question, the whole goddamn thing is rigged. I think it's rigged anyways, but this court packing thing, Kamala Harris has been dodgy about it. When Don Lemon goes all in, Don Lemon goes, I mean, he was not happy that she did not answer the question.
No, he was really agitated, you could tell. I'm also curious what Trump's strategy is going to be today, and I wonder if this is a really weird situation, right? Because I think it plays poorly if Trump continues to attack on the Hunter Biden situation, unless there's some kind of concrete proof that comes out that says Joe was definitely involved, and there's not yet. Like, he may have met with the guy.
Right.
But that's all we know so far. Bringing that up right now seems premature and petty. Like, I know it would be great to have that information now, but you don't.
Right.
You just don't. So does Kristen Welker bring it up? Because it's dangerous information for the Democrats. It really is. But is it more dangerous for Trump to spend his entire time needling and talking about that instead of asking questions about the crime bill and the Supreme Court? I think that would be a good strategy.
That's really interesting. So, thinking about it out loud, I don't think she will, because it would still make Biden look bad, and I think they're going to try to do everything they can to not make Biden look bad. What I'm curious tonight, because she has to ask this question in particular. This is it for them.
Right.
Are you going to pack the court? This is Don Lemon said it in this interview. This is becoming, he said this to Kamala Harris, this is becoming her emails.
Yeah.
If you do not answer this question, this could sink this race for you guys, because this is a big deal that people care about of packing the court.
Yeah, he asked her about it, and she said she immediately pivoted to one. She said
for 3 minutes.
Yeah, one. She said that the nomination is not legitimate in the first place, which is not true. Like, that side's claimed it's unconstitutional, it's not legitimate. The law says otherwise.
Right.
Very clear about that. You're an attorney, so is Biden. You both know it.
And it is in the Constitution.
Let's be real fucking clear about that. But this happened Tuesday, I believe, which is before the confirmation's over. And she's like, I absolutely plan on voting against her. There's all sorts of problems. Actually, everybody on the left that's not an actual politician or like a far left pundit has agreed that if this were any other president, this woman would have received a majority of votes, a super majority of votes.
Yeah. No.
There would be no question about it. There'd be a couple of partisans that stood out. I think they're actually going to boycott the.
So they did today.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
okay.
they did, and
So
immediately people went to Twitter to bitch about, well, they're gonna vote without the Democrats. They don't need the Democrats.
Yeah.
And this grandstanding and this other bullshit, like, it's unnecessary. 1, 2. They don't need your votes, so therefore they do not care.
Right.
To me, I knew they were going to do it, and they're trying to push this off as much as possible. The problem is, you're, again, 12 days before the election at this point, and not only is she sailing through, there's not one fucking word about it today. Giorgio mentioned it on the way in, and I was like,
there's no news about this?
Yeah, and I was like, Giorgio was like, hey, man, I think they're going to confirm her today. And I was like, this is the most silent confirmation of all time, because everybody is focused in.
They said they were going to confirm before Halloween.
Yeah.
And there's also no, think about when the white supremacy question was asked to Trump finally, for the 70th time, I don't remember. I was finally was obviously a joke. And it was the biggest one. Finally, they just decided to latch onto it. Not that they haven't been parroting it for years, but this time it was every single day there were 2 or 3 articles. Why won't Trump say this? Why won't Trump say this? I haven't seen one goddamn article from anybody at CNN or MSNBC, barely even from Fox, to be honest, asking why. So when she's asked this question, she says, well, Joe already said, or actually Lemon said, Joe already said he was against it, which is not true. He said, I don't like the idea of packing the court, but we'll see what happens based on how the Republicans handle this nomination. That's a fucking threat. That's not him saying he's not into it. So get fucked, but Don Lemon, you piece of shit.
The other interesting part of this, real quick, and not to interrupt you, is Joe Biden himself did say, I will tell the American people before the election what I'm going to do about packing the court. So tonight seems to be the night. This is kind of it for him.
Well, there's some incongruity here, and I don't understand it. There's a couple things, actually. The first one is Biden did say he was going to tell the press and the American people his position before the vote. Now, isn't the main premise of the objection to Amy Coney Barrett the fact that people have already started voting? Isn't that what people are saying every single day?
Yeah.
So if that's your main point, your opposition to this confirmation is that Americans have already started voting, and you say you're going to tell people before the vote. Well, the vote started a week ago, bro.
Yeah.
So which is it? Like, which one? This is the problem with politics. Which one of these things is true? You cannot change what is true based on your position inside of reality. That's not how fucking reality works, and it's not how truth works. The other thing is, man, when she was the first thing she said when she was asked about this, she goes, why don't you ask Trump about why or ask Mitch McConnell why there's been a fucking bill on his desk for 150 days for a stimulus package he hasn't signed, because the bill fucking sucked, dude.
Yeah.
And even your colleagues in the fucking Senate and House right now are criticizing Nancy Pelosi for not taking the deal that was offered because people need fucking money. You know what I mean? So you've already lost this. They're using losing talking points. That's what losers do.
That's what losers do. And, tonight's, if he is asked this question and he dodges it, I'm not going to be surprised by it. If he answers it and he says, no, I'm not packing the courts, you're going to lose that radical left side of the Democrats. But does it even matter? You were talking about voting a second ago, how it's already begun. If you believe the media, 23 million votes have already been cast.
More, 30.
Oh, 30 now. Okay. Well, as of yesterday's news, it was 23 million, right? So let's say you do have 30 million votes already cast at this point. It's too late. Like, hey man, I don't know what it does to you by saying it one way or another at this point, because it's like traditionally Democrats vote earlier anyway, so it's like, is it really going to fuck up your party or whatever? I don't know. I'm a gambling man, as Dakota said. I have zero faith that he's going to answer this question tonight. Do you?
No, and I think it's funny. Lemon continued by asking Kamala Harris, why don't you just answer the question? I feel like when he was talking about it becoming her emails, why not just answer it and take all the power out of it?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Why let it continue to be an issue? Because that's what it's building up to be. And for one, the way he said it, he was like, maybe if you just answer people, they'll move on to things that actually matter, essentially. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. Now, how can changing the rules of the game for a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court not matter? Like, that part doesn't matter? Well, like, if she were to say yes, like, yeah, we're going to impact the court for sure.
It's a big deal.
Like,
yeah.
Why would that not matter? Second, she still wouldn't answer the goddamn question.
No.
She goes, I'm not going to fall into that trap. What trap exactly? To tell the American people what to expect if they elect you? Because that's kind of what this whole process has been about.
And if you're a Democrat and you can't answer softball questions from Don Lemon, who is literally trying to usher you into office, then you've got some fucking problems, because typically those interviews on CNN are it's just a lob right down the middle of the plate. And it's like, here you go, answer this question. I think, and look, we hate Don Lemon on the show. We always have. I think he genuinely wants this answered and out of the way, so that it can help their ticket move forward.
Yep.
I also think that Don Lemon, the ounce of smartness he probably does have in his fucking dome, realizes that packing the court would be a bad idea. So if you go from 9 to 13, and let's say Republicans take it in 2024, right?
Yeah.
Then what are you going to do? Jack it up to 17? Because that's what they would do.
Yeah, they would add as many seats as necessary to make sure they had a majority.
Correct. And that would go on for years and years and years. So it's a dumb precedent. I hope he addresses it tonight. I doubt he'll address it tonight. And I'm also curious to see if he'll be wearing a watch from VinceroWatches.com.
Unfortunately, they don't have a digital watch with a pop-up HUD that could give him talking points in real time.
Maybe.
That's not a thing, because this is not Star Trek, okay? But Vincero has dope-ass watches.
They do, dude. I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing these goddamn things for mine. I love them. I coach soccer in them. I do everything in them. Go to VINCERO watches.com. That's VinceroWatches.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros. 15% off, D'Anthony. These lovely, lovely watches. Usually they don't get anything off.
Yeah,
this
it's
goddamn
15% off. And I let me see.
I spoke at a school the other day and said 30. They don't give you anything off these watches, but
most people
they
don't
are now. They are now.
Most people don't.
It's Christmas, so the holidays are upon us, and everybody's looking for a watch for their dad, brother, uncle, or someone they've been touched by.
Yeah, don't forget to. I mean, it's VinceroWatches.com/bros, but don't forget to use Drinkin Bros at checkout.
Correct.
The first one is to put you into the right spot where the good stuff is. Mm-hmm. So they made you a little catalog of all the good stuff. And the second one, the code is to make sure you get the deal. Don't check out without getting the goddamn deal.
So it's VinceroWatches.com/bros.
Bros, yeah.
And then Drinkin Bros at checkout. I like that. So because they have a huge catalog of watches. So they just kind of cut through the bullshit there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Like here, maybe they have, I don't know exactly how
I was on
they do
there.
it.
Dude, there's so many
It's
nice
probably
watches
just
on
their
there.
best
When I
sellers.
picked this one out, I was on there for like an hour. Yeah, because they have a lot of watches.
They
on
have
there.
a bunch of different ones. So they have, like I said, I've said this before on the show, but usually when you're buying nice watches, you'll spend anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 on something like that, right? It's like a once in every 10 years kind of purchase.
Yeah.
And it's a super nice watch.
Yeah.
Here you can get basically 4 of these bitches for $1,000, one for every potential outfit you could wear in a suit or business
attire. Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty dope. It's a really good deal, and plus they're really nice. I mean, I've had the one. I've got 2 at my place, and I've had them for like a year and a half now.
Yeah,
wear that shit all the time.
Did I wear this every fucking day?
Basically indestructible. If you're a guy like me that fucks shit up on a regular basis, I got that. It's like a vulcanized rubber band.
That's what I got.
Yeah,
I got that vulcanized rubber, dude.
It's fucking great.
Because I coach my kids' sports, so it's like, all right, sweet, I need a watch, and I didn't want to fuck up the leather band.
Yeah,
So
sweat.
I got this
I'm a
one,
sweaty dude. I can't wear leather
Same.
bands.
I can't either.
If I wear a
can't
leather
either.
band, I just get a ring around my wrist.
Yeah,
I'll
take it
whatever.
off if I'm going to do some physical activity, but not with these. You can just leave them on. Go to VinceroWatches.com/bros, and then use the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout for 15% off.
They've also got sunglasses over there.
Yeah, do they really?
Yeah.
I want some fucking sunglasses. I'll go peep them out. I almost saw the watches. Rudy Giuliani. Still a dirt bag. That's just in. You'll be able to see that tomorrow in Borat's on Amazon Prime. There was a photo that surfaced with Rudy laying on a hotel bed with his pants down and a young woman in the room. I have no idea what to expect out of this film. I do know that it is out tomorrow on Amazon Prime. And my first thought when I saw that photo was all of Hollywood, every single media outlet, every single fucking thing that they could throw at the Republicans has gone down, right?
Yeah.
Including the release of this movie. Because Mike Pence is in it, Giuliani's in it. Like, they tried to hit everybody in this goddamn thing. And they put it out right before the election, so it would be embarrassing and everything else. Now, Rudy has said it was a microphone that I was taking off, and I laid down to take off the microphone, the mic pack. In interviews, yes, they do put the mic cord up through the front of your shirt, and it's called a lav, and they hook it to your collar, and then it goes back down around, and then they put it either tuck in your back pocket, or put it on your belt loop, or something like that.
Well, I mean, I do. If he's telling the truth about this, that's exactly what I do. I put it on my back right typically, and I tuck the extra cable
cord
down
in your pants. Yes.
However, this is not what has happened with Rudy Giuliani. Very clearly, this guy was like you could just tell from his interaction on camera before that happened. He's like flirting with a girl and shit.
I have not seen the clip yet.
Man.
I saw the photo circulating.
No, she's like talking about, I'm nervous. He goes, don't worry, I'll relax you. Like a creepy old man comment.
Oh, Giuliani. I'm not surprised. He's always been
this guy. He's got a long history of leaving wives for mistresses. He's done it twice now.
That's right.
Yeah, he did it in the late 90s, and he did it again. Actually, and now he just, his new wife that was his mistress before is going to find out about this now, apparently. They just got married, I think, in October. Or no, maybe they're just dating now. I don't remember.
Congratulations to
that
happy
yeah.
couple.
He just confirmed this month that he's now in a relationship with a woman that his ex-wife accused him of banging, and that ex-wife he was banging when he was married to his previous wife, right?
That's great.
So he just kind of trades him in. He's like, what's that car company that sells cars? You just bring your car in,
CarMax?
CarMax, yeah. You just show up, throw him the keys, and get a new one, and roll on out of there. So I'm curious what his home life is today. It's probably not great.
No. Was he the one that was popped fucking the girl in the 9/11 first responders hotel?
Probably. What he was doing while he was mayor, for example, was he was putting his security budget into random departments throughout New York City, right? Not just for the not just for mayor or for the police department, but he was putting his security detail, like he was assigning it basically to organizations or people that don't exist in other departments, so he could hide the fact that he was using the security to drive in places to fuck his mistress.
Oh, he's a smart man. I watched...
Well, it's only smart if you get away with it.
Exactly. I watched the Comey Rule last night or the night before, I forget. All the days blend together during fucking COVID and shit. But he's in that. He plays a prominent role in that during the 2016 election. And apparently the FBI was leaking shit because they hated Hillary.
Yep.
This one floor of the FBI. And they hated Hillary so much that they were leaking all the info to Giuliani. And if you believe this movie or James Comey, and that's up to you, I think he's a piece of shit, but that's just my own opinion.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's not true, though.
Correct. But if you believe it, the reason in the movie on Showtime right now, Jeff Daniels plays Jim Comey, by the way. If you believe it, Comey says that the reason he had to come out and investigate Hillary again was because he had heard that Giuliani got wind of it, that they were opening up a new investigation when Anthony Weiner's laptop got exposed,
right,
for the underage things. So that was what drove Comey then to come out and say, all right, we've got to make this announcement before Giuliani does, or else it buries the credibility of the FBI.
Right.
I don't know if that's true, but the interesting part of that movie is when they were cutting away to Giuliani footage, they were using real footage of him on like CNN and shit like that. So maybe there is some truth to it. The thing with Giuliani to me is, first of all, I don't like him. He's always seemed like a creepy dirtbag to me. I don't like the fact that Trump uses him as a mouthpiece for shit, because every time that guy goes out and talks about whatever hot button issue Trump is going through, he fucks it all up.
Yeah.
And I think he's a terrible spokesperson for it now. I just think he's too old for that job, right? But Trump is the old school, like New York, New Jersey guy where it's like, dude, I'm going to trust Giuliani. I'm going to trust Chris Christie. I didn't know that Chris Christie was the guy that was the debate prep for Biden. Did you know that?
No, I thought he was in a Monty Python video eating until he's exploded all over the floor. Because I can't look at him
I can't either.
without thinking about that or that fucking Giants-Cowboys game we went to, a year ago or some shit?
Yeah.
And he was just on the sidelines down there. I'm like, God damn, dude, are you... Like, how fat a man do you intend on becoming? You already had the lap band surgery, you're fucking fat again. Did it not work? Did it break?
The hilarious part
happened,
of that story is we had field passes for the Cowboys-Jets game last year. Oh, we were with Post Malone.
Yeah.
I'll get and drop all the fucking names today. Fuck it. But anyways, I have a picture of you. Because I didn't want to ask Chris Christie for a picture, because we think he's a piece of shit. But I did take a picture of you near Chris Christie, and holy shit. I mean, it is crazy how huge that guy is in real life. Like, and we were, by the way, on the same field, so there was no like risers or anything else. Like, God damn it, he's like two Dans glued together.
Yeah, he's a fat fuck. Yeah,
it is unbelievable if you see Chris Christie in person. The fact that he's playing Biden in these election debates, these mock debates, is hilarious. Oh, speaking of which, tonight's debate, and again, we'll be going live off our YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Central, which is 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be on about a half hour before the debate starts. The thing about the debates tonight is allegedly Trump skipped rehearsal. So he was just like, fuck it, we're good. I would rather go do rallies. So apparently he did rallies in Wisconsin, North Carolina and somewhere else, and is skipping the prep. But I guess if they're going to mute you and the whole thing's rigged anyways, what the fuck does it matter? You know?
I don't know. I mean,
Trump's going to be Trump, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I don't think he necessarily needs to debate prep. I mean, there's no question that he could be asked that he hasn't already been asked.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't really think he needs to go too far in explaining anything. Everybody knows.
Now, Biden did, by the way. So he took the day off and canceled all of his shit and,
of course he
and
did,
rehearsed.
Yeah, because oh man, how far am I going to go here? It's like he's recovering from being hit in the head really hard a bunch of times in a row.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens tonight. Next up, University of Minnesota lecture features a 12-step recovery program for whiteness. You heard that correctly. The University of Minnesota's School of Social Work hosted a virtual lecture recently that aimed to teach white people about their white supremacy and how to counteract it by using a simple 12-step program mirrored after the one used by people in Alcoholics Anonymous, AA. You heard that correctly. The 2-hour recovery from white conditioning lecture hosted through the school's Center for Practice Transformation featured therapist Christina Combs. Combs is a University of Minnesota alumnus who created the white supremacy 12-step program, and we wanted to give her proper credit today.
Yeah.
She says, after years of struggling to navigate the role and presence of whiteness in her personal, academic, and professional journeys, it says, according to the university's website. She also goes on to say, I also want to hold that alongside the tension that in this model, we are in fact centering whiteness, but we are centering it differently to expose it, study its patterns, and to transform its violent legacy. Well, shit. I guess we all need to be fixed.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What is step 1, by the way?
Hold on, I'll look it up.
We can have lots of fun. Step 2. Forget about blue. Police are bad. What are we doing to stop our fucking whiteness?
Step 1 is
tan. We supposed to tan?
Yeah, I think get those melanin injections.
I guess, man. I'm very Steve Bannon-ish today.
Step 1 is to admit that you've been socially conditioned by the ideology of white supremacy.
You don't say.
I like how the last thing she said was to quote unquote transform its violent legacy, meaning whiteness. Right?
Yeah.
The idea that an ethnicity or skin color or culture is intrinsically violent is the exact same language that's been used over the years by white racist assholes to keep black and brown people either out of their country or enslaved or at least subjugated. That is literally the exact language. And there's actually a good book. It's a book written by a second wave feminist when that shit was still necessary, by the way. So it's a good, I would say it's written by a feminist, not the kind that not a third wave feminist. It's a second wave feminist when they were still fighting for equality and shit like that. And it was a study on race relations basically. And the premise was, actually the conclusion was that particularly white journalism throughout North America, throughout history, has posed the threat of black and brown men raping white women, right? That was like one of the big talking points they used to make sure that they kept that racism alive. They were doing it intentionally. And it's where, like we said, A Time to Kill, it's where that came from. The idea of this black man raping this person, they just kind of flipped it and wrote it from that perspective, right? So it's kind of the impetus for that. Now this woman is just repackaging the same ignorant bullshit, and a major university in the United States is allowing this shit to happen. They'll kick fucking Ben Shapiro off campus.
Yeah. But
this piece of shit right here can continue, people can get continuing education credits for sitting in this 2-hour lecture.
Oh, yeah. This is, by the way, this is going to keep happening all over the country. I can promise you that. University of Minnesota is Big Ten.
Yeah.
So this will go to Northwestern. This will go to Ohio State. This will go to all the places.
Right.
And there will be kids who are like, yeah, I am too white. I need to sit in here and learn about how to correct my whiteness. And it's not shocking. It's shocking that People are allowed to do it, but
what do we mean when we say somebody's allowed to do it? Here's what we mean. We mean that a state university,
correct,
in a state in the United States is allowing state and federal money to pay for this.
Yep.
All federal funding and all state funding should immediately be taken away from the University of Minnesota. All their funding should be pulled. Their athletic programs and every conference that they're in and every sport that they're in should be banned from those conferences until they fix this shit. This is exactly what we should have done when schools refused to integrate after Brown versus the Board of Education. These old white racist motherfuckers that couldn't stand the idea of a black person being as good or equal as them, they got to go.
Yeah. And
the same way with these people doing it in reverse, they got to fucking go. There's no room in this country for this bullshit from any side. The truth is the truth, and the truth is that we should all be treated equally. And if you have anything to say about that negatively, then you're a piece of shit and you got to go.
Yeah. And I agree, and especially with this woman here. I mean, you want to just pull her aside and be like, "Hey, did you need the cash that bad? Like, where did you come up with this in the time that we're living? That you're like, oh man, you know what I could really package together and sell is a whiteness course.
Yeah, right.
12-step white program will get rid of your whiteness. But again, this will continue to happen. I guarantee.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, because nobody's got the balls to do anything about it.
No, dude.
We've got, let's see. Oh, shit, we're 74 minutes in.
Who cares?
Let's do one more because I got to do a call before we do.
Wait, is there a certificate you could get for after you're not white anymore?
Yeah.
You denounced your whiteness?
Yeah. What if you just show up to that? What if you show up to that class and then you go out to the bathroom like at an hour 50, come back at 1:59 and you're in blackface and like, it worked.
It worked, man.
I'm
here.
black,
I'm
man.
saved.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'm saved.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
I'll let you pick the last story then, Dan.
Well, there's Hunter's emails. We've talked about that plenty. The OxyContin guys pled guilty to federal criminal charges, and they're going to shut down the company, but it's just going to reopen under another name and keep doing the same thing with different owners.
I was going to ask, are they taking oxys away? What are they doing there?
They'll keep getting made, and they're going to keep doing the same shit.
Great, because I was worried about that.
Yeah, these guys are just paying back some money. We'll end with this one because it's so goddamn stupid. Not the OxyContin thing. That's just an aside. Speaking of stupid motherfuckers, AOC and Ellen Omar, two of the dumbest people in all of politics, by the way, are at it again. These two dummies decided to use a Twitch live stream. By the way, after Ellen Omar had torched, or I'm not Ellen Omar, but AOC had torched people using Twitch for this shit. Decided to do a Twitch live stream where they played Among Us. I don't know if you've seen that yet for the kid. Yeah. To encourage young voters to get involved. That's cringy, but it's reasonable enough, I suppose. If you're wondering who they are as people, though, and if you're wondering what they want for this country, look no further than the person they chose to join them in this major political activity. This is a big deal for two of the squad to do something like this, to reach out to young voters because they're two of the youngest people in all of Congress, right? Who did they ask to join? Hassan Piker, who you may remember from the Young Turks, who eventually became famous for belittling Dan Crenshaw and stating that the U.S. deserved what happened on 9/11.
Right. That was glossed over, by the way, last night. So when I saw this on Twitch,
they didn't bring it up.
No,
it's weird.
Didn't bring it up at all. All they did was bring up the numbers of what it drew, and it was 435,000 live viewers, right? That's a big boy number.
That's a lot.
That's a big boy number. It's surprising they didn't say who the special guest was.
Yeah, they should. They didn't. He wasn't on any of the media before that, so he was upset that Crenshaw was opposed to halting arms sales to Saudi Arabia, and in my opinion, Crenshaw's wrong and Piker's right. Saudi Arabia are a bunch of cunts, and we should have stopped working with them in any way we could fucking decades ago. However, he got mad about it and pretty much had a rage stroke, and he said, you know what, fuck it, I'm saying it. America deserved 9/11, dude. Then he tried to come out later and say, I was just taken out of context. How the fuck can you take that out of context? You know what I mean? If you say the N-word like 40 times in a row.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I was taken out. I was just trying to figure out how to say the ER, man.
That's it, man.
Jesus Christ. I wasn't actually saying the N-word.
I'm
just
play.
So now you can't blame people for stuff that other people says in their presence necessarily. Like just the same way that you can't blame Joe Biden for Hunter being a piece of shit because he had other kids did just fine. Yeah. Right? You never know. Sometimes kids are just pieces of shit.
Can't do anything about it.
No. But if they were on the stream, like they know who this guy is. It's not like if they were on the stream and he had said this on the stream and they were like, nope.
Whoa.
Right? That would be, I wouldn't fault either of them for that because they had no idea this asshole was going to say that shit. He said it a while back and it was a big deal. Everybody knew about it. To join this anti-American asshole to one of your political events after him saying some shit like that, you do take some personal responsibility, and you can't complain when people assume you're anti-American. You can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When you fucking bring a guy on that says America deserved 9/11, and your positions are to tear down the fucking capitalist patriarchy or whatever the fuck, yeah, you are anti-American. There's no guesswork about it anymore. The fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to live in a country like America, don't try to change 330 million people's way of life. Just move somewhere else. I heard Venezuela is really nice this time of year.
Super nice this time of year. Yeah.
Let me look at the
Warm,
weather.
very. Yeah, check the climate there. But there was a look. There was a lot of people doing it.
It is 82 degrees in Caracas, right? It's like San Diego, man.
Take a
Beautiful.
flight. Take a one-way down there. See how it works out for you. I don't blame them for going on Twitch. I think that's the next look. Podcast and Twitch and all that shit. That's where America is headed. That is the future. That is obviously why we own a media company. I don't blame them for that. But the guest portion of it, I think they knew exactly what they were doing. And, you know, it's one of those read between the lines assholes type of deal.
Yeah.
For these guys. And it's only going to continue.
It is, yeah. Hassan Piker, if you're out there, do you remember how President Trump joked about shooting chlorine directly into your veins?
Yeah. Give it a shot.
Think about it. Because you don't deserve to be on this fucking planet, to be honest. Anybody that wishes death on others like that, just for who they are as people, where they live,
Pretty crazy.
you got to die, bro.
You gotta die. It's time to die. Next up, we got the Drinkin Bro of the week. This one was submitted by Travis Blankenship from West Virginia.
I like a guy named Travis from West Virginia.
So do I, man. That's a strong.
You know he's done some things.
He's seen some things, done some things, smoked some things, snorted some things. Member of Drinkin Bros for 6 months. He's nominating Scott Weller. Says the reason for the nomination is Scotty and I joined the Army on the same day in the same state of Pennsylvania after leaving MEPS. We were on the same flight to basic. We ended up realizing that we knew each other from our drunken runarounds and bonded up, and we were sent to the same units in Fort Hood, Texas. Not long after we were deployed to Iraq, I was QRF. What does that stand for, Dan?
Quick reaction force.
Okay. And he was HQ. He watched over me like an older brother and always checked on me and made sure that I was there after a mission. The day I wasn't, he did everything he could to help keep me in high spirits, even though he had his own shit going on. After we reunited stateside, he made sure that I didn't lose hope or drive, even though I lost my leg. He's the reason why I didn't end things in 2008, and we talk nearly every single day when one of us aren't pounding pud. He is forever my own personal hero, and I will forever be in his debt. Cheers, fuckers. He says, cheers, man. That's an awesome story. I thought it was going to go real dark. Real dark. But
It always can. You never know because we read them live.
read them live, and you can submit them at drinkinbros.com. We've also got some Buttersoft teas on there that are $19.99 if you want to support the show. But all the nominations you can write in through drinkinbros.com. Yep. They come straight to our inbox, and we read them live on air. So we don't screen any of these. Whatever pops up, pops up, and we read it live on air. And that's the beauty of it.
By the way,
write anything you want.
QRF is like a breaking case of fire kind of situation.
Okay.
So not someone that you want to see,
Right.
right? If you're a fire, you don't want to see a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
And if you're a bunch of assholes, you don't want to see these guys coming down the street, basically. So.
Gotcha. Stay tuned with us tonight. We will be going live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the last presidential debates before the election. It should be every bit as a shit show as the first one, only there'll be muting options in it and probably a lot of screaming. So we'll find out either way. Buckle up, kids. Grab a six-pack or whatever you got and join us live on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. And we will post the audio version later tonight like we have for the last two, the vice presidential debate and the other presidential debates. So we'll see you here in about 5 hours. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.